This killing has generated a very different reaction from some on the internet. Just take a look at some of these comments found under a CNN video about this story online. These are just a few, among dozens of hateful comments that we found. And that frustration is something that doctors say they've seen from patients throughout their careers.
I see people when they're at their lowest, when the system has failed them. And I'm frankly not surprised. They feel abandoned. They feel exploited. They feel lied to when it comes to the healthcare system, and especially insurances, because of the things you mentioned: denials, prior authorization, narrow networks, the cost of healthcare. It's been going on and bottling up for a long time.
In a CNN story that was just published about this, they note that a Facebook post that was put up by United Health Group expressing sadness about the CEO's death, it received 62,000 reactions. 57,000 of them were laughing emojis.
The moment the dam broke, and they swarmed into the office of a president already fled.
This extravagant car collection belonged to the now deposed Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. A Bentley, a Rolls-Royce, and 3 Ferraris were among the 40 luxury vehicles stored in a warehouse in western Damascus. Assad is now, of course, in Moscow after he fled from rebel forces. Inside the presidential palace, more signs of luxury. Piles of food in a country where 90% of the population live below the poverty line, according to the United Nations. The woman behind the camera reads from what appears to be a draft menu for the former First Lady.
غير محبوبة لا نعود نساويها. من بكرة سمك سلمون أو سمك اللاذقية أكل المدام.
As rebels took control of the capital, overjoyed Syrians grabbed what Assad's family left behind as they fled. The Assads are estimated to be worth $1 to $2 billion, according to the U.S. State Department.
أنا جيت أتفرج على الشيء اللي كنا ممنوعين نشوفه. إذا منضل بالواقع اللي عايشينه هو الفقر والتعتير والحرمان.
The images now emerging from their properties are proving to those Syrians what they already knew to be true, that while Assad bombed and brutalized his country, he enjoyed vast wealth.
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, and a sincere salutations to the hopeful elect, the Tabernacle of David, you Akim, pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth, and all truth, faith, and sincerity. And also a healthy shalom to the few Akwath who are listening and learning. Lord's willing, this lesson be edifying. Now, this lesson came about after I watched the video of President Assad palace being ransacked, by the citizens. And it prompted me to think about what happened in Sri Lanka in 2022 to their president's mansion or his palace. The people did the same thing. And that got me thinking about the spirit of sedition, how the Heavenly Father is ramping things up because judgment is befalling the earth, and he's about to turn up the dial on these rich men, these people in power. All right. So let's grab Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's exactly what's taking place. Sedition is brought about by the people being in such a bad state or condition. The woman in the video clips that I played prior, she said that, why do we have to live in poverty and have to suffer? And then she used the word deprivation.
Deprivation.
And I haven't heard this word in a while, and I pulled up the definition. And it reads, the damaging lack of material benefits considered to be basic necessities in society. So the people don't even have the basic necessities in society to survive. So they're surviving on less than. While what? While their politicians, while their presidents, while the people in power, as you saw, are living in luxury. All right? Because they've taken the bag. They've bowed down to the system. All right? To get their cut, to deprive the people of their just right, you know, so that they can live lavishly. So at the end of the day, when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. You don't have the bare necessities. You're struggling. You're fighting. And these devils, the wicked, Esau, Edom, is laughing and spitting in your face. This is what drives people to turn on their government. This is what drives people to storm the Capitol. This is what drives people to, go after the people in power. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16, straight to the point. For there shall be, you know what? I got to start at 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. The course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right. When you seen the United Healthcare CEO get gunned down, all right, the course of that of the shooter's actions stood in his hands. He had the power to take that man's life, and he did that. And to do an act like that, you could care less about the kings and the princesses or the people in power, the authorities. It says they shall not regard their kings nor princes. And for these people to storm palaces and to go after CEOs, ultimately, this is the Heavenly Father stirring up those spirits that are created for vengeance. Because there's about to be a lot of death that's going to take place on this earth. Hey, and it's deserving. It's deserving what's coming to these rich men, the poor men, everyone who has taken advantage of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah's liberty. So let's get this. We'll end it here. This is James chapter 5 from the top in the NLT. It says, look here, you rich people. Weep, groan with anguish because of all the terrible troubles ahead of you. Your wealth is Your wealth is rotting away, and your fine clothes are moth-eaten rags. Your gold and silver have become worthless. The very wealth you were counting on will eat away your flesh like fire. This treasure you have accumulated will stand as evidence against you on the day of judgment. Right. And all of this is going into the wicked elite. These elite banking families, the Rothschilds, the Gettys, the DuPonts, all these men that are behind the curtain that are pulling the strings. But they're lesser luminaries, these people that they've put in power, these CEOs, these presidents of other countries, they're puppets. They're gonna be first in line to get it. All right. And that's why you're seeing these things take place, and they're going to continue to get worse. It says, for listen, hear hear the cries of the field workers whom ye have cheated of their pay. Right, and the field workers are you tribe, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Our ancestors built up America, Babylon the Great, and built up this world. All right. Our nation had a hand in making all these empires great at a certain point in time. All right. Through our labor. It says, for listen, hear the cries of the field workers whom ye have cheated of their pay. The wages you have held back cry out against you. The cries of those whose harvest your fields have reached the ears of the Lord of heaven's armies, the Lord of Sabaoth. So the Heavenly Father is bringing about the judgment that is written to these people, man. Like I said, to rich, poor, small, great, young, it doesn't matter. But you can expect more and more of these fatalities, more and more of these uprisings, more and more storming of presidents' palaces or homes to continue. It reads, you have spent your years on earth in luxury. Right. You see how many cars that devil had? You seen, he didn't have a mansion, he had a palace. All right. And this is one of their lesser luminaries, man. What about the Rothschilds, the Gettys, these elites? Talk, man. It says, you have spent your years on earth in luxury, satisfying your every desire. You have fattened yourselves for the day of slaughter. You have condemned and killed innocent people who do not resist you. What we reap, we sow. So these people have traded in their souls for temporary wealth and peace and riches here on earth, not considering their latter end. Because it's definitely coming. Judgment is definitely coming. So stay tuned. The Heavenly Father is going to continue to work. Lord's willing, this was edifying. Shalom Israel. Wa abad babal.